Ignorance is what creates fear, meaning not knowing enough to know what the future outcome will be. What kills fear? There's one thing that kills fear, which is knowing and gathering information. What causes fear is ignorance, which is most people don't understand it. Ignorance is what creates fear, meaning not knowing enough to know what the future outcome will be. So we talked about before, taking a risk. If I put $100,000 up that this business is going to build out in 5 years to a very successful one, the fear is coming because what if it doesn't? Oh my gosh, look at the time and money I spent. That's the fear, right? So fear comes up when there's an unknown, when we don't have enough information. When we talked about the cliff, well, I jump off into the water if I don't know what's under it. No, I don't have enough information. So what kills fear? Not knowing and ignorance creates fear. Data, math, logic, and reason kills fear. So let's look at the for sale by owner situation. Why would a for sale by owner not work with a real estate agent? Because the reason why they're working with themselves is not because many times they think they're the best. They know they're not the best. They know they're not better than an agent. They think they're going to make more money. But you need to prove to them that it's not in the emotional bias world, but in the factual world that cannot be argued. So when you're in a negotiation with someone, you need to understand. They think, how is this person trying to get over me? I'm the victim, pretty much most time, without them saying it, maybe not even knowing it. So their job is they're thinking in their mind, supporting their family, getting the highest price possible. But you know because it's statistics and math. So find the data that supports your argument. Go onto a third-party public resource that shows, here's the statistics of what most homeowners are selling their house for, they're for sale by owner. Here's the statistics of what in our market or in the industry of what the average real estate agent is selling a very similar like-kind property. And you can see here that most homeowners are selling on their own are doing it 15% less or whatever the numbers are. Whereas, yeah, you're going to pay the commission over here, but you can see the net is higher to you. So yeah, you're giving up something here, but you're going to create a higher net. And this is industry standards here. And it's basically what you're saying. So now that they know the math, they're going to say, actually, I'm losing money to sell it on my own now. But they have to believe it. That has to be believed. But that's why math is so powerful, because if it can be on a calculator or it's on the publicly traded records. So like all the time when I was recruiting EXP in the beginning, oh, you guys don't sell houses, all you guys do is recruit. Well, then can you explain how many transactions we're closing? And I pull out the database. Well, my broker said you guys don't sell houses. Actually, we're selling a lot of them. We did $1.4 billion in revenue last quarter. Did your broker not tell you this? No, they did not. Well, this is publicly traded quarterly filings. Your broker, were they at EXP? Oh, they weren't. You gotta be careful because you don't want them to feel stupid, but it's like, so I usually ask this when we're recruiting. Well, my broker said this. Oh, well, Joey, when was your broker at EXP last? Because a lot's changed here. A lot of good things have happened, knowing that they were not at EXP, meaning if they said something bad, meaning they're already changed now. Oh, they were never at EXP. Now we go back to what we were just talking about, how to use it on the flip side, the negative competition. Well, Joey, I mean, man, like, your broker's saying these bad things about our company and they were never there? Just out of curiosity, Joey, this is your question. Like, how do they know if we're bad or not if they didn't experience it? Like, I could tell you that I can think that restaurant down the street sucks, but if I've never eaten there, do I really have the authority and is it really ethical for me to actually talk about that company? It is somebody else's life. They are just like us. They have family. I understand that competition's real and sometimes it's frustrating, but I don't have any comparison effects. So how do you feel about that? Do you think the persons you're working with right now, knowing that they haven't even experienced our company, would say something like that? So now where you're kind of doing a passive negative aggressive, where you're kind of exposing them, but you're not being the negative, right? And you're pointing out that they are the one. So you're actually doing what they're trying to do and making it look like them, but also doing it the appropriate way, if that makes sense. But anyways, so like what's going to get you past most objections is you did one right there that was really good. I don't know if you know what you're doing, but you use their objection as the reason to do so. So if every type of objection that someone gives you, you want to find 2 or 3 ways to overcome that objection, using that objection as the exact reason why. Like the first brokerage that I can remember doing this on, I did a presentation and the broker had like 12 agents, was like, that's great. EXP looks great for a new agent, but I'm a broker. How does that work for me? It just doesn't seem like this is going to be something for me, right? And I said, well, John, his actual name was Larry. I said, well, Larry, actually, I'm glad that you brought this up. I was hoping to kind of go into some of this because EXP is great for an agent, I agree. And that's also great for brokers because brokers have agents. But really, when you think about it, after I go through this conversation with you, this short conversation, and share what I have, you're going to realize that EXP is really better for brokers than it is even for a regular agent. Can I go through and talk about risk mitigation, scalability opportunities, leverage of time, coordinating, management and behind the scenes without having to deal with it on your own, all sorts of different stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm taking their objection and I'm giving them that objection is the reason why. And I always talk as if and through the deal's already been done. So let's say you're coming to me and your objection is, yeah, well, I'm a new agent and I don't know, I heard EXP is great for like producing agents, but not for new agents. Well, Joe, I'm actually glad you brought this up because actually EXP is great for producing agents, but I really think EXP is probably the best for newer agents because of this, and this, and this. And then I give case study testimonials. In fact, one of my new agents, here's what he was able to do. So use the objection. So you want to kind of plan these out as you get more objections on phone calling, write the objections down, because what we study and what we practice, we can achieve at a higher rate. And then we use an objection against them essentially, and the reason why they should be doing it, if that makes sense. So you can do this with any type of app or lead. Say like a wholesaler, right? Or like, let's say like in your situation with being new, I don't know if this makes sense. I'd want to work with someone that's been in business for a little bit longer, done more transactions. Well, absolutely. I hear that all the time, but can I give you my perspective on this? A lot of, people choose to work with someone that's been in the business for years, but a lot of people also choose to go with someone that's a little bit newer. And the reason why they've had a lot of success going with someone a little bit newer is think about the effort and time and attention that I can give you your transaction. I have a lot of time that I can put working solely on your deal, all my efforts going into it, where some people feel more comfortable with that as compared to knowing they're hiring someone that's got 10, 20, 30 transactions and their time on their house is shared between the time put with all those other houses. Now, I may not promise you that I'm the best, but I can promise you that you're going to get my best and my time. Now, if you get 100% of someone's time that's a B versus 25% of someone's time that's an A+, what do you think the highest kind of net, if that makes sense? So I explained this in the past with like hiring virtual assistants. So if a virtual assistant can do a job at 75% efficiency, and I was to do it at 100% efficiency, meaning I'm the business owner, because people don't want to outsource and hire. That means that 100% of my time, I can do the best and have better result than if that employee was doing it if we both put 100% of our time in. But since I have to share my time across accounting, marketing, management, all these other things, I can't have 100% of my time here. So maybe I have a D- of my time, meaning the most I can put into it. Because if this person's putting as virtual assistant 100% of their time on one activity, only this activity, even though if I was putting 100% of my time, I'd be better at them than that. But since I don't have 100% of my time, they actually are going to create a higher conversion rate, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, if you can get one of these rock stars and they had 100% of their attention on your business, that might possibly, be better. But what you know is that people are successful because they're busy, because they figured out how to do a lot of business, right? You're pointing out that they may have a limitation with time with that person.